It is dark, it is cold, and something is moving in the trees. You have one thing that keeps you alive tonight, a small fire. But here is the strange part. You did not make this fire. Nobody you know can make fire. You found it, days ago, where lightning hit a tree, and you carried it home like a baby, and you have not let it sleep since. Because if it goes out, you cannot just make a new one. You have to wait for the sky to give you fire again. For more than 1,000,000 years, that was the deal. Humans could hold fire. They just could not make it. Until, one day, someone did. This is how we made fire, and how fire made us. So where did the very first fire come from? Not from people. From the sky, and from the land. A bolt of lightning hits a dry tree. A wildfire sweeps across the grass. And somewhere nearby, a curious human does something no animal dares to do. Instead of running away from the fire, they walk toward it. Deep inside a cave in South Africa, a place called Wonderwork, we found burnt bones almost 2,000,000 years old, so far inside the cave that no wildfire could ever have reached them. Someone carried that fire in. On purpose. Think about what that took. You pick up a burning branch, you protect it from the wind and the rain the whole way home. And then the real job begins. You keep it alive. You feed it, day and night, forever. Because this little flame is the most precious thing your family owns. And that was the terrifying part. Because a fire you cannot make is a fire you cannot afford to lose. Imagine the worst night. The wind is strong, the rain is coming, everyone is tired, and the flame gets smaller and smaller and smaller. If it dies here, in the cold, there is no match in your pocket. There is no lighter. There is only the dark and the cold and the long, dangerous wait for the sky to strike another tree. Maybe close, maybe far, maybe not for a very long time. Families guarded their fire like their lives depended on it, because they did. And somewhere out there, a human must have looked at that fragile little flame and thought the biggest thought in history. What if I didn't have to wait for the sky? What if I could make my own? And then, one day, someone did. This is the moment everything changed. Around 400,000 years ago, a human picked up a special yellow stone called pyrite and struck it hard against a sharp piece of flint. And a tiny spark jumped out. Not from the sky, from their own two hands. We know this really happened because archaeologists found the proof. Burnt ground, cracked flint tools, and pieces of that yellow pyrite stone carried from far away for one reason only. To make fire. There was another way too, and maybe you have tried it. You spin a wooden stick against a flat piece of wood, fast and faster, until the wood gets hot and starts to smoke, and a tiny glowing ember is born from nothing but effort. Both ways are hard. They take the right stone, the right wood, dry hands, patience, and a lot of failing. But it worked. For the first time ever, a human did not have to wait for the sky. They could make their own little sun whenever they wanted. And that little spark changed everything about being human. Fire meant warmth, so people could live through winters and walk into colder lands they could never survive before. Fire meant light, pushing back the dark, turning a scary night into a place to gather and talk. Fire meant safety. Out beyond the glow, the wolves and the big cats waited, and they did not like the flames, so the fire became a wall of light around the people you love. And maybe the most important gift of all, fire meant cooked food. Cooked meat and roots are softer, safer, and easier for your body to use. And many scientists think that all that extra energy helped grow the one thing that makes us us, a bigger brain. So the fire did not just keep us warm. In a strange and beautiful way, the fire helped make us smart. Of course, keeping a fire alive all night was somebody's job. And somewhere in history, there was the very first kid who got fire duty, sat down next to those warm, cozy flames, and slowly started to nod off, and woke up to a cold pile of ash and an entire family staring at him. 10,000 years before coffee. Honestly, a hero. A sleepy, sleepy hero. But once we could make fire, we did not just survive. We gathered. Every night, the fire pulled people into a circle, shoulder to shoulder, faces glowing. And around that fire, we did the most human thing of all. We told each other things. Where the animals go in winter. Which plants heal and which ones kill. The story of how Grandma survived the coldest year anyone could remember. The fire became the first classroom, the first theater, the first home. One person could make a spark, but a whole group, sitting together in the light, sharing food and stories and warmth, could pass everything they knew to the children beside them, and those children to theirs, all the way down the line, for thousands and thousands of years, until it reached you. So think about the whole journey. First, we could only find fire, catching it from lightning and carrying it home like treasure. Then we learned to guard it, keeping the flame alive through every cold and windy night, terrified of the moment it might die. And then, one incredible day, we learned to make it ourselves, a spark from a yellow stone, or an ember from a spinning stick. And that spark gave us warmth, light, safety, cooked food, a bigger brain, and a circle to gather around. Find it, keep it, make it. 3 small steps, spread across a million years, taken by people who were cold and scared and curious enough to try. So tonight, when you turn on your stove or light a candle, or just strike a single little match without even thinking about it, hold that flame for 1 extra second. Because that same spark, the one jumping off your match, is the same spark a cold and curious human pulled out of a yellow stone 400,000 years ago. They caught the sun. They kept it alive. They learned to make it. And they passed it, flame to flame, hand to hand, all the way down to you.